manga can be a problem. I've talked about some of the ones that I really like, and we talk about a lot of the ones that I have ingested, despite the fact they're obviously low quality. Like a lot of isekai stuff. Overlord, pretty clear exception, but like generally pretty low quality stuff. And then sometimes there's stuff that people are willing to listen to you talk about because it's outlandish. The series, I don't know if I even should name the series.
You know what? Go ahead.
I'll look up the name in a second. I think it's genuinely called like Isekai Coliseum.
That's not a good name for how bad this is.
No, and the concept is they bury the fucking lead.
It's not wrong. No, it's not wrong.
It's just it's not the whole truth.
It's not. It's very much half the truth. Yes.
And in a certain way, No Country for Old Men's about a man who gets in a car accident. But
God bless.
Good Lord. So this series is specifically about this gamer nerd boy from Japan gets summoned to this world and is immediately put into like a gladiatorial slave caste of people who have powers.
And if he stopped right there, it'd be like, okay, whatever.
All right,
that's regular old
Yeah,
isekai.
Another run of the mill.
And then you imagine he like works his way through the Colosseum. He makes like a good ally, and then they escape or they win their freedom. And then really the story starts into like the rote of like, oh, and then he joins the Adventurers Guild. Like this could have been a really good first 2 or 3 chapters.
But instead
of that,
takes a bit of a turn.
The Colosseum has some consequences to it if you lose. You get impregnated by the victor of the match. Whoever loses, the government has special government-only sex magic to turn you into... I've only seen it turn people into, like, hentai booby monsters. Like, there's... I don't know if it's necessarily a sex change style of magic where you turn into what you would look like as a woman.
Oh, man.
So, but also this is a world that, like, clearly this guy making this is a hentai artist. That much I can say with zero research and complete certainty.
Yeah, because like the Hellsing guy started his roots in hentai. The person that did K started in like fucking Bushonen hentai.
Why don't you go ahead and break down what that means? What's a hentai, Kevin?
A hentai?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Japanese drawn pornography.
Okay, yeah. So if you didn't know.
Yeah, there's a small chance.
I suppose we could be educating somebody about that. If you've stumbled on this place, welcome. We teach people about things that maybe they shouldn't learn about.
Yes, here on Scryer's Room. I am your host, Famfare, and we're talking about sex magic.
Yeah. Government-only sex magic that will either turn you into a big titty woman, or will turn a woman into a... The technical term would be futanari.
You want to go and break that one?
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and break that one down, too?
Yep. I'm being punished for my journalistic integrity of telling you about this series. Futanari is the classic lady. She's got all of her bits, but also a penis, sometimes balls.
Hold up. So to my understanding, there's supposed to be a difference between futanaris and dick girls. One has balls, one has a vagina still. I do not know which one is which.
So the problem here is that futanari is like a term that, like, in Japanese, I think means both parts. It doesn't necessarily... It doesn't have anything to do with, like, humans specifically at all. Yeah.
Etymology is fun.
Yeah.
Science is fun.
It's sort of like the famous phrase that another word for this kind of character has also been new half.
Because famously in Street Fighter, Poison is a new half. She is not a woman.
Well, Poison's whatever Poison wants to be.
Yeah, fair enough. And Poison identifies as being a woman, absolutely. But originally Poison was a new half.
Yeah.
Which means whatever you want it to... Yeah, anyway.
So what happened was... Our friends and Tony were really into fighting games at the time, and I have a habit of ruining things.
Yeah, Kevin... And the thing is, he doesn't... It's not like he's like, oh, I'm going to spoil it. He just matter-of-factly is like, oh, yeah, that thing happened. And then we're like, oh... Thanks for that, you fucking bastard.
And this was one of the first big ones.
This is when we kind of, like, really got notice of this phenomena.
Yeah. because they were playing that, and I wasn't there.
We were playing Street Fighter versus Tekken.
Street Fighter versus
Yeah,
Tekken.
and I was running Poison and someone else, and I forgot who Ricky was playing, and then Kevin just Saunders.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it was Saunders on in the fucking room.
I just come on in because I came to hang out with my friends, and I look at the TV, and I genuinely, and what I mean to say is who's playing which character, which is what I should have said. What I said is who's playing the new half because I didn't remember Poison's name. I remembered the internet fun fact about her being a new half.
Wait, does Poison identify as a woman? How does that work?
I don't know.
I don't actually know.
I don't know the lore.
Here. Being a big. And by the way, this when we say ruined things, this is pre-closeted Tony. So like I was like,
Yeah.
Like I still had to defend my masculinity with this sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I was very red in the face about this.
It's also very funny, specifically because what were you guys talking about right before I came?
How hot Poison was.
Poison was so hot.
Smoking hot.
And then I'm like, who's the new half?
And we're like, beans.
And you're like, what's that mean? And we have essentially this conversation again, ending in, beans.
Her dick's bigger than mine. No, there was a point in my fitness career. I am a fat man, my lovely listeners, but I am currently working on being a more fit boy. And though I have resigned myself to this pursuit, at one point I was Poison maxing. That was my ultimate goal, was to have the same body type as Poison. But I'm too much of a bara for all that.
I mean,
so
in terms of like, so I often think about this, like, when robot times come.
Yeah.
Like when people are cybernetically enhanced, the obvious choice is going to be hot, right?
Yeah, naturally.
Like it boggles the mind to even think that they would sell like a big, ugly, weird shaped version of a thing that they could just make look good,
aesthetically pleasing. Yeah. Like we have like actual like science about how things are broken down to that's why like, I understand it's unrealistic, but it doesn't matter that it's unrealistic because it is artificial. So if you're making something artificial, you might as well make it good.
Yeah.
Like why would I mean, I understand flaw. We talked about this. Flaws do give things innate meaning, and that you can find there's like beauty and artistry in flaws. But like if you're going out of your way to do a subpar design for the sake of it being subpar, you're kind of just an asshole. Well,
I was thinking, like, this is a thing that I think I'm going to keep for my sci-fi story universe thing. Of like, people would try to be hot generally, but there'd also be another subsect of cyborgs, wouldn't there, who are just totally like
utilitarian, or like
they'd be designed for purpose. They look cartoony, like they have little like 1 foot tall legs and then like super giant torsos, and it's like, yeah, that's so that they can operate this specialized like asteroid mining equipment. Like it would go from the world. As much as people say, like, this person's so hot or so ugly, people look pretty close to each other.
Yeah.
Our bodies have, like, dimorphism and, like, chain differences between them, but nobody's walking around with wings like an X-Man.
No.
Whereas once cybernetics come, it's either going to be, like, uniform hot or uniform hot and, like, the Looney Tunes.
Yeah, there's gonna be like snake. There already are snake men.
Yeah,
like people who like do body mods.
There's that lizard man. Yeah,
like the people already. Because that to me, that's like an integral part of like the trans experience. Is like it's not just about like transgenderism. Right. Some people are like transracial. Some people are transhuman.
Yeah,
like in how they want to be seen and how they want to present themselves. So like the idea that like artificially modifying yourself to the point of that, like that's one thing I really liked about cyberpunk, the cyberpunk setting, was that like body modification to get so normalized at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would think at the very least that like when we can replace like full body parts and stuff, the amount of people who like will be financially able to purchase cybernetics is going to be. It's going to be real rich people at first, obviously.
Yeah.
But at a certain point, like, TVs used to cost, like, a month of your salary.
Yeah.
And now, like, our friend back in the day, Sean, whenever, like, somebody, like, had a new place and, like, we're like, everybody should come over, he would buy a TV to bring over.
Yeah.
So he could play his PlayStation at the same time as everyone else playing PlayStation. which was cool. That was, but like they're so cheap now.
Yeah.
Eventually, it might be like cheaper for like cybernetics to be like, you broke your arm. Ooh, sorry, but you got it back into the Amazon Fun Factory right now. We're just gonna buzzsaw that thing off.
Just chop it right off.
Pop on an Amazon Prime. Roll back the savings Walmart branded claw, and you'll get right back to loading boxes.
Oh my god! It takes too long to let this thing just chop it off and get it back in the line. Yeah. That is so dystopian.
Yeah.
And that apparently that's where a lot of that actually originally came from, was whatever story it was talking about cybernetic limbs for World War III or whatever.
Oh yeah, like the original inception of like cyberpunk as a thing, like where cybernetics become like so ingrained in society, is because of amputations like were just necessary, and we need to get soldiers back on the front lines. We can't teach this guy how to operate his sniper rifle with a claw. We need a better sniper hand. And then, like, obviously, like, billions of people at war, essentially.
Yeah.
Forced just innovation after innovation after innovation, new inventions and new cybernetics. And eventually, David Martinez thinks that he's built different.
Yeah.
And he wasn't.
That's one of my favorite cautionary tales is oh, you're built different? Okay, yeah, I bet you are. Oh, you're dead now? Yeah, I saw that coming. Like,
well, then there's, Adam Smasher.
Who is built
different.
Yeah.
It's really funny that, so, I don't know how many people are, like, really into the Cyberpunk IP. Like, the Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah.
And
wasn't it originally 2022?
So the story,
2020?
The plot starts in, like, 2007, technically. Yeah. That's when, like, Johnny Silverhand, like, starts getting involved in things. And then by, like, 2020, it's, like, basically, Cyborg times start and the Corpo Wars and all that. And then by 2077, that's, like, the modern day. But, like, their plot goes back to, like, I was reading on the wiki, like, and this song was released by Johnny Silverhand's band in the year 2009. And I was like, 2009?
Yeah, God bless.
Johnny Silverhand is the equivalent, like, him being in your head, he's like a rock star. Like, people know about him.
Yeah.
Not even like, oh, you know about the Corpo Wars and how things went down with Johnny Silverhand and his crew. Like, no, you might just know about his music career.
Yeah, it would be like having like Kurt Cobain just like hanging out in your head, and you're like, you're the guy from Nirvana, like what? And he just fucking does.
Yeah,
what that fucking. I'm drawing blanks is the name of that song. It's bad. I should.
Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Yeah, there it is. There it is.
I don't think you like that song, too. That makes it really funny to me.
It's the only Nirvana song I actually know the name of, and I didn't even know the name of it. I didn't listen to a lot of Nirvana, which, like, apparently is sacrilege. People really hate that I'm not really, like, into Nirvana. Because I like the Foo Fighters.
You know what? It's really funny. I'm the exact opposite.
You really like Nirvana, but you hate the Foo Fighters?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
The song from the new Batman was a Nirvana song. I don't remember the name of it right now because, as with all things that I'm a fan of, I'm a fake-ass fan.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I like the things that I like to the degree that I like them, and I won't be tested on this. This isn't high school.
Yeah, it's like, you're not a true fan. You're not a real fan if you don't know this. Like, you just shut the fuck up.
At this point, I'm in my 30s. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Maybe I'm not. But like, Foo Fighters consistently has been a thing that people are like, isn't this song the best? And I'm like, no. This sounds like, to me, like it's the radio.
It is, yeah. The Foo Fighters make specifically radio brand alt-rock music.
What are your opinions on the Foo Fighters? I'm going to accost Mario now.
They're fine.
That's how this show goes. I talk for too long, and then I'm like, Mario hasn't said shit. I'm going to bother him about it.
That's how I feel about both of them. Nirvana, Foo Fighters. They're both fine.
Yeah.
Like, they have songs I like, and then there's other songs where it's just like, I don't like that.
I mean, you mostly listen to, like electro and, like...
I don't really listen to a lot of music, but, like, by and large, yeah. Or, like... I don't know, I like, the...
I'm trying to remember the guy that you showed us,
Salvatore?
Yeah,
Salvatore Ganacci.
Yeah!
Yeah, so if you haven't heard of Salvatore Ganacci, you need to look up his videos on YouTube. They are fantastic.
Yeah, his music is pretty decent, but
his
really,
videos are spectacular.
Yeah, really, he's a comedian making fucking bit music videos. That's
and nailing it.
yeah,
nailing it.
Yeah, check out Step Grandma. That one's
and Boycycle.
That's a favorite. The
The Boycycle is.
You can't go. You're just a
Don't
bicycle.
spoil it! Don't spoil it! It's so good! You need to listen to it! You need to listen to Boycycle! It blew my mind, not in a mind-blowing way, but in more of like a... Like, it's hilarious in a way that I haven't experienced before.
It's so unexpected and different.
Yeah, it's just so unique.
Like,
it's truly a unique experience.
Yeah, what, you've never seen a man that's a motorcycle centaur? Like...
Yeah.
God,
trying to find his place in the world.
His flesh-colored motorcycle bits. Like,
yeah.
If I remember correctly, and I could be... I believe I was up in Michigan hanging out with my cousin Todd, and he had some guys over, and like, you know, we're just kind of like shooting shit, putting videos on YouTube and watching them, and I was like, oh, I got something for you guys.
Yeah.
And I put on Boycycle, and they were like, I think one of them was like, did I take shrooms? Like, I don't remember taking shrooms, but yeah.
Am I remembering this thing that I'm currently watching wrong?
Yeah.
Because what the fuck?
They just weren't fucking ready for Boycycle.
Yeah,
that's good times. Good times.
I listen to everything. Like, I don't particularly have a genre, but I enjoy a lot of electronic stuff.
Yeah.
Electro swing is great.
Electro swing is slaps.
I like jazz.
Jazz.
I like
also
rock.
slaps. Yeah.
I like shitty grunge music. Like, you know,
I
like a little bit of everything.
grunge music.
I'm not huge into rap. There's rap that I like. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a few that tickle me.
I also enjoy classical music too.
One of my favorite rap songs, I only know because of the Adult Swim music video, Future's Coupe. That shit goes hard, and that'll get me shaking my ass for sure.
I'm gonna hit you with I'm gonna hit everyone, I guess, with a hot take. Classical music is boring.
See,
depends.
I knew both of you would disagree with me.
Like,
that's why I said it, and I stand by it.
See, I guess it just depends on who you're listening to, because I always wondered why I liked classical music so much. I was a band nerd growing up, so like that definitely influenced it. But when I remember reading a thing or hearing an argument that classical music and heavy metal, like death metal, are very similarly like scored, and they're both very busy types of music. So because of how the notes like synergize together and harmonize together to make the actual melodies, a lot of like metalheads like classical music because it's like tickling the same parts of their brain. And I think I'm one of those people because like I like really complicated like scores, and like I like to hear like all the instruments like you know, harmonizing and sometimes clashing against each other. And yeah, it reminds me of death metal, and I quite enjoy my death metal.
It makes me think of, I don't know shit about music, so I'm just
neither do I. So I'm just yeah.
So it's I feel like it's the sometimes, not all the time, but like some classical music, like especially the string instruments, like they're playing it at like a frantic pace.
Yes, that's a great word. The franticness of it.
Like the the Flight of the Bees or something? Or...
Yeah.
Flight of the Monkey.
Yeah, and it's like if you watch like someone play that, like their fingers are going fucking crazy. So yeah, I feel like that's one of the connections at least there.
No, I'd buy that. If you're an actual music guy, if you're a music boy, and you want to roast us in the comments, please do. I'm always happy to be enlightened. I don't know shit about music.
I probably know the least about music amongst all of us because I didn't learn any instrument. They didn't even let me play the recorder when I was a boy. I have arthritic old man hands that I've had since I was a babe,
yeah.
And frankly, I was pretty cranky about it. So they were like, "Let's not bother this fat kid with playing the recorder." But I will say, you know what song goes hard? Devil Went Down to Georgia.
Oh, baby. Ooh,
yeah.
baby.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah. Well, that's not even...
You can play that...
What genre is that?
That's country.
Yeah, I guess that would be country.
I hate country generally, and...
Well, because, like, country music changed.
Yeah.
There was a point where country music was just fine, and then it became so stereotypical and cliche that it became, like, a stereotype.
Okay, there's country, and then there's other stuff. Okay, I feel like that might fall under rockabilly or like one of those other like country adjacent genres.
I feel like there's different brands within country itself. Like there's blues country, outlaw country,
Yeah, that sounds so try hard, man. That sounds so fucking
I'm giggling about outlaw country because of Archer.
Yeah, you know. Okay. Like there's genuinely like a bunch of subcultures, and like I said, I know the least about music, and as I just said, I hate country music. I know nothing about it. All I know is like old country music from my mom and grandparents. That's what they would play, and there definitely is like a change in like how it was like conceived of as a genre. Certainly older country is different. However, the Charlie Daniels Band, I don't think that song came out in like the 70s. I think that song came out a little bit like
I have no idea.
More recent.
You want to pull up?
Let's pull up
a fact sheet here.
Yeah.
When did the Devil Go Down to Georgia come out?
When did the Devil Go Down to Georgia?
When did he do this?
When did he get his ass whipped by like an X-Man style child savant?
I also love that song because it's the only cautionary tale about the devil where the guy's like, "Fuck you, I'm winning." Like instead of like, "Don't make pacts with the devil, children. It's a bad idea." This one says, "Yeah, whoop his fucking ass.
Yeah.
Get his ass."
Don't make deals with the devil unless you like. Are you the chosen one on the fiddle?
Yeah.
1979.
I buy 80s.
What genre is it considered, though?
Let's find that out, too.
Yeah, because I'm very ignorant about this.
Because, funnily enough, my favorite part of that song is when the devil's playing in the band of demons.
Oh, yeah. The fucking bass line in that is so fucking tasty.
Like,
yeah, it's so tasty.
I always thought, like,
the devil won! The devil fucking won! Yeah.
Important thing about that. First of all, it's called Southern Rock. Southern Rock and Country is the genre for it.
There you go. Yeah.
However, important thing to note about that song, I think about this like every time I hear it, the devil sounds like he does better. He makes a more appealing song, in my opinion, in every version.
Well, he has a band.
He has a band, and importantly, specifically, the way that Little Johnny plays his fiddle is like technically like magnificent.
Yeah, it's like one of the hardest things you can do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the fingering he's doing is like
the devil was like, who can make the best song? And he's like, no, if we get graded, I just get a higher grade. This is a way harder thing to do. And I'm gonna sing about my mom cooking chicken, I think, is the through line of his chicken in the bread pan.
Yeah.
Is that cooking chicken? Is that some southern method of Eggo sipping chicken? I don't know.
Fuck, bro. No, that song's a banger. 100%. Song's a banger. Okay, so we were talking about cyborgs and cybernetics. I'm going to take this time to segue into one of my childhood pastimes, Megaman.
Yes.
Megaman is
a massive franchise to begin with.
It's a massive franchise. It really exploded in the early 2000s, late 90s, and it has a very special place in my heart. In fact, one of my favorite bands, possibly currently my favorite band, is the Megas.
Yeah.
Who is like a Mega Man cover band. They take the boss music and then kind of switch it up a little bit and then add vocals and like tell a story. And they're all like all their albums are concept albums about the different Mega Man games.
And they're spectacular.
They're fucking spectacular. I got to see them at MagFest. I was so happy. One of my ultimate regrets is that, I didn't go drink with them in the after party. I was like, I'm tired. It's like 1 a.m. I'm going to go back to the hotel and I'm going to go to bed. Like, this is not... Yeah, but I could have... Because they were already pretty drunk. Like, you could tell. I'm pretty fucking sure... And gentlemen,
you could have stolen one of them. Just pick them up.
Yeah, gentlemen, if I'm incorrect about this, I apologize for tarnishing your good name. But I'm pretty sure they were already fucking trashed when they got up to perform. The guy looked so hungover to me. But they did a great job. They did a great job.
I mean, I would even find it hard to like begrudge somebody, specifically like a convention like MagFest, because they didn't make their band a Mega Man band because they didn't also love Megaman and all the things surrounding it.
Yeah.
They're at this convention exactly as much as any other, like,
precisely and
person there. They're just performing, too.
And one of the things about MagFest that always tickles me is that, like, I've been to, like, Otakon and stuff, and I used to go to Katsucon, AUSA. I used to go to, like, some cons like that. We have a previous episode to talk about going to Nova Open, which is one of the tabletop cons.
Yeah.
But, MagFest is the only convention that's technically 24 hours. The one that I've been to, at least.
Yeah.
And so, like, the party never stopped. People are just day drinking, like, outside, just sloshed. Just
means nothing.
Having a great time, just being involved in all these people, and it's such good energy. Whereas, like, Otakon is, like, very much, like, I don't know, like, you at a certain point, you're ushered out and you're expected to behave. Whereas, like, MagFest is just much more punk rock and wild and free. I feel like the Megas definitely got caught up in that. Not in a bad way, but just in an inevitable way.
I really like the concept of MagFest being a 24-hour thing because that's how you get people doing, like, the Q&As.
Yeah.
That, like, are just like, this guy didn't work on this. He's just a guy.
Because, like, I think the panels stop around 2.
Everyone.
But they don't, like, kick everyone out of the ballroom or anything. Like, you can just fucking be drunk on the floor and it's fine. Well, maybe don't go that far. But
the company won't get mad at you for that. However, the people there may step on you, or as I suggested, just pick you up.
You can steal a man.
Yeah.
You can steal a whole man. No, but the Megas are excellent. Megaman are good. The Proto Men is also an excellent band that does, but they're not a cover band. They're just doing their own interpretation of the events of Mega Man.
They made it into their own rock opera.
Yeah, and it's sick nasty, and there are some great memeable quotes, like there are no heroes left in man.
Hope rides alone.
Hope rides alone, excellent.
Spectacular.
Yeah, good stuff. We're still waiting on part 3 for the Proto Men.
And we've been waiting, and we will continue to wait ad infinitum.
Yeah, we've been waiting on damn near 20 years.
Yep, it's sort of a Jesus coming back scenario at this point.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll get it, maybe we won't. Maybe we have to, like, kill the Antichrist or whatever.
Maybe you just have to go to all their shows and illegally record all the new songs that they've played, like, a bunch of things that they're like, this is from part 3, and we're not putting this on recording.
There are 4 songs that I've heard, and I think I've only heard actual, like, recordings of 3, and there's one specifically. I think it is titularly named Calling Out, but it has no actual title yet. And it's I should know people's names. I feel bad. I'm a Philistine. It is the lady vocalist, and she's going buck wild. I mean, she is a gorgeous voice. She's like singing her pipes are just ringing, and it's good rock opera vibes. The other 2-3 songs I've heard were just mid. You know, they weren't like, they didn't really captivate me. But the Calling Out song, like, especially because, like, it's about like the city, like, basically calling out for a hero, and I was like, oh my god, it's touching me, it's doing it.
Yeah,
I'm getting all bubbly inside. And I heard it. I heard that at MagFest when they performed. That was my first MagFest too, so it was like doubly like, I get to see the Proto Men. I get to hear a hot song I haven't heard from the Proto Men. I was losing my mind.
From the third thing that's never coming out. Yes.
Yeah. I lost my fucking mind. But no, so Mega Man is a very deep place in my heart. And there's a gentleman named by the name of Ben Saint.
Oh, yeah.
And he has an 8-hour documentary, or not documentary, an 8-hour lecture about
lecture.
It's a lecture. It's a lecture. He's literally talks about. I wanted to give a lecture about this, but the thing got canceled.
Right.
So I saw someone else make a video lecture.
Yeah.
And so I decided, hey, why not I do that? And then his original lecture was going to be 2 hours, but he didn't have to be cocked. He didn't have to be restrained and censored by time limits.
When you make a video, brevity is the last thing that you need.
So Ben Saint goes on for 8 hours about the complete
video.
history of Mega Man. And it is an excellent, delicious, informative, important knowledge. I am on my 3rd watch.
Yeah.
Because this is knowledge that needs to be internalized.
The first time we watched it, you and I watched it together, and we had to, like, take it in sessions.
Yeah, we did it in, like, 3 or 4 sessions.
Because, good lord.
It's so... And based off of his video and my own knowledge, and as someone who has played most of the Mega Man games growing up, I'll have to say the arc between the Maverick Wars and the Elf Wars, the best.
Yeah, between Mega Man, the actual Mega Man X series, like that's where I actually felt like there's bigger plot at play.
It was actually written before,
Yeah.
like Mega Man is just like, okay,
You have to get all the power, Mega Man.
yeah, just beat up Wily. He's the bad man. He's the bad man. Get him. And then like Mega Man X starts to like really compound things because like the idea,
Which is kind of funny because the plot of Mega Man, like the first ones where it's just you got to beat up Wily, includes the extinction of all other life in the universe except for on Earth.
yeah, part of the fucking I guess I don't know if it was Mega Man 5 or 6 or between that era. Yeah, you learned that like the other planets in the solar system have been destroyed by the robot wars.
Yeah.
Fighting robots exist in space, and they've been fucking shit up for a hot minute. Mega Man, please save us.
Every time
they're
a
coming.
planet gets to the point where they can make robots, they make fighting robots, and those fighting robots destroy everything.
Yeah, it's
They didn't have Mega's Man.
the ultimate creation is the fighting robot like that.
There's only one Mega Man.
And also, one of the things, this, I don't think this constitutes as spoilers. We do a lot of spoilers on this show, and I apologize for that if that's been bothering you. But it's interesting how the onus of the robo-apocalypse and humanity being replaced by machines is if Dr. Light got laid or not.
Yeah.
Like the flashpoint of whether or not humans and machine become one, and the pure humans are on a space station, letting the carbons, the fake humans, like cultivate society, and the carbons are just
Is whether or not some guy named Tom got laid in the 80s.
yeah. Did he have a son? Did Tom marry Emily, and did he have a son?
Yeah.
Like, is that what happened? Oh, then we don't have Robopocalypse. But Dr. Light stayed an incel, but not voluntarily, hence incel. I guess I shouldn't call him an incel, it's only he disrespects women.
Incel implies a whole other thing.
Yeah.
He just, like, never, like, found, like, love or family.
Yeah, he never had a children.
With a person.
And
Like-
so he made a robot son.
Yeah.
And that caused the Robopocalypse.
And it's genuinely his desire for family and connection.
Yeah.
But also, if you really boil it down, the moment that Emily was like, no, I don't think I want to go out with this guy, that was it. The entire universe was consigned to only having robots in it.
Yeah, it was the end of days. It was the last seal of the apocalypse is broken, and it's only been bad things from there.
Yep.
Yeah,
But it gave us Zero.
it gave us Zero, and he's so sick.
He's so cool.
He's so fucking cool.
Zero is the first character that I think I was able as a child zero in and be like, they decided this one's the cool one.
And I think the creator Inafune, I think that's his name. Yeah, he wanted Zero to be the main character of the X series.
Yeah.
And he didn't think it would pitch well. And then Capcom just didn't really care, but he already pitched that X is the new Mega Man or whatever. So he gave Zero all of the cool scenes.
Yeah.
And then he famously dies in X1. And then
then later again, and then
you just bring him back in X2, and it's a whole thing. And then he keeps dying and coming back. It's a whole meme.
he loves dying.
And then the Ben Saint documentary. One of the things I picked up is Mega Man X5 was supposed to be the last. Clearly was supposed to be the last Mega Man X game, and then Capcom just kept making them, and so a lot of the story and continuity starts to fall off at 6, and it just became a cash grab. Very clearly a cash grab.
6, starting from 6, it started to be after the end of the episode where everyone dies, and the next episode is just Family Guy, they're back at the house.
Reset Zero, yeah.
Yeah, reset to 0. That's what from 6 onward they did.
Yeah, basically it was Saturday morning cartoonified, and they did a lot of all this stuff happened and none of it mattered. Moving on,
yeah. Genuinely, even in the lore of those games, a shitload of the important stuff we're just told happened earlier. We get introduced. I think almost every game has one NPC who was oh, I was on Zero's old team, before his old team before you took over everything, and good job, X, go kill more Mavericks. But that's literally that's putting the lore in the history.
Yeah.
That's not a new thing happening. But then you have to go kill that guy, and then Zero gets to have his fun scene with Magma Dragoon, and
yeah, Magma Dragoon. I was thinking that's the main one.
Yeah.
The Dragoon betrayal hurt really hard for a character we didn't know about.
yeah, we didn't know about him until like 5 minutes ago, and it's
But
like,
he's sick.
and he betrayed you, and we're like, but we were Red Karate Brothers.
Yeah.
How dare you?
And you get the coolest move from him. You get the Zero's version of the Shoryuken, where you do like a flame like dash upwards with your sword, and it's like a rising chop, and it's sick. Because Zero played like a fighting game character. Like, yeah, no.
Did you play Mega Man games, Mario?
Nope.
Wow.
He has no concept of this.
Yeah, we're just speaking in tongues to him.
Anything I know about Mega Man has come from either of you.
Wow, that's great.
This is the exact same situation as you have with Baki.
I hate Baki so much.
I mean, I don't hate Mega Man.
Yeah, I was going to say, it can't be the same situation because
True.
I hate Baki.
Baki is...
I don't like Baki. I think Baki, like, it's art. It's technically art, but it's just...
We were having this conversation earlier. I've been in a hot take mood, and especially when I know that I'm wrong. So an important part of myself, I think, is that I'm okay with being wrong in a lot of ways. For example, people like we were talking about, like Gen Z has like they really buy a lot of like designer scents and like perfumes and colognes and things, I think. And that got me onto thinking about, like, you know, there's people who make those that, like, they're like, I'm an artist. They're making art with the smell. And I know I'm wrong. But no. Right?
You're making a thing. You're not making art.
It's crazy.
Yeah, of course it's art. Like,
of course it is.
But at the same time, like, I remember someone once told me, like, photography is an art, and I'm like, you're a Philistine, but I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Like,
but no one's talking about the great smells of history.
Great smells of history. What would be one of the great smells of history?
Fucking exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know about the smell, but the ingredient that was integral to that is ambergris.
Yeah.
Which that has had a huge impact on history, and even if you find ambergris now, that's worth like fuck tons of money.
Oh, you're not even allowed to sell it in America. It's so tightly regulated because presumably you gutted a whale for it.
Yeah. The only thing, they'll also just like regurgitate it.
Well, they regurgitate it, and that's how people typically find it. But like the presumption is, like, you could have just hurt a whale for this. We're not going to you can't just sell it. We have to investigate that.
Where'd you get this ivory?
Yeah.
But yeah, then the only thing I know about that is back in the day.
Where did you get all these penguin heads?
in the ye olde times, they also would eat ambergris. It was an ingredient in like food and drinks.
You know, the only thing I know about ambergris is that it's the exotic fish crafting material in Guild Wars 2. What is ambergris?
It's whale puke. It's bile from the ducts of a sperm whale's digestive tract,
and it's an integral ingredient for making like perfumes and stuff.
And it gets compacted in their system, and typically it's not supposed to like be expelled from them. But like it'll get like all clogged up in their system, and they'll like cough it up on occasion.
And it's just a very valuable puke.
Yeah, it's the most valuable puke in the world. Like a chunk the size of what?
What else? What else do they make it out of, or what else do they make out of it? Rather,
it's for perfumes and food.
Like scents, and then people used to eat it.
Yeah,
and then I don't think that's done anymore.
I would hope not.
Yeah, you probably
it's like a chunk.
Yeah.
It's like a wad?
It's like a meteor made out of cheese.
Oh, man. I hate that.
Yeah.
That's bad imagery in my head.
It's whatever you're thinking, it's that disgusting.
But if you find like a big like chunk of it, like it's worth like so much money.
People will kill you for it.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Like ambergris is incredibly so fucking valuable.
Damn. I had no fucking idea.
Yeah, it's sort of like a guano situation.
Is that why whaling? I thought, because I know they make oil out of whales, right?
They do make oil out of whales because of all the blubber and stuff. You can render that really easily. But when you kill a whale, you use as much of it as you can. Yeah. I presume that's how this was discovered.
Yeah, they just took it out of its sack and was like, "Oh, look at this!
But,
This is a
like,
thing we can use."
Also, a lot of people who genuinely like, oh, I'm a black market whale poacher for Chanel. I hunt sperm whales, gut them for their ambergris, and then sell it to like some perfume company.
God damn, that's some James Bond shit.
I said Chanel all confident like that. I don't necessarily know that Chanel even makes perfume. I'm so stupid.
Yeah, well, I don't know who Chanel is, so I'm just as stupid. If
Not Coco
more.
Chanel. You're thinking of the wrong Chanel. Whoever's listening out there. Not that Chanel. I'm talking about Scooby Chanel. It's,
Okay.
it's a product you can buy on Temu.
God bless. No, but going back to Megaman and robots.
Robots, yes.
Yeah, fighting robots.
The final form of all life.
Yeah, that's what human evolution is building up to eventually. Because like at first there's robots. Dr. Light and Dr. Wily make the robots. Dr. Wily makes the robots evil. Megaman has to beat them up. And things are pretty whatever. The robots are originally made to help humans. Like each of the robot masters has like a job.
Yeah.
You know, like they're supposed to be doing shit and being useful. And then we encounter Reploids. Dr. Light makes one final robot, but this robot is a real boy. He has free will and can think. But he undergoes a 30-year diagnostic, and then he wakes up from that diagnostic and is encountered by the Dr. Kane. Dr. Kane's like, "Wow, this is the most sophisticated robot I've ever seen. He's not a robot. He's a Reploid." And so Dr. Kane instantly decides, "Let me just start mass producing these things. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure making sentient free-willed robots that are twice as strong as any man, just mass producing these things.
Whose hands can anamorph into guns.
I'm sure there's no way this plan can backfire." And then, we go from Reploids, and then I'm not sure when we get to Carbons. They're in Mega Man Legends.
So,
but I'm assuming, and this is me taking some liberties here, but I'm assuming that's at what because by the time we get to that point, like Reploids and humans are kind of like
we're like
becoming
tens of
the same
thousands
thing.
of years in the future at that point.
Yeah, it's implied at least.
Yeah,
because like part of in Mega Man ZX, Reploids have like internalized like timers so that they die like humans, and then most humans are completely cybernetically altered.
Yeah.
So
realistically, they probably need the timers too.
Yeah. So like the idea of like who's machine and who's man, what's the difference? Like,
It's all getting blurred.
It starts getting blurred in ZX, and then the next technical continuity in that would be Mega Man Legends, and at that point, like there are the Carbons, which are basically just their version of the Reploid.
And I mean, like an important part of like understanding, like they're like robots are just a kind of person now. Their little brother was a Gundam.
Dude, yeah, Bon. I remember being so blown. Okay, Mario. So, one of my favorite games growing up as a lad was The Misadventures of Tron-Bon. I'm sure you're familiar with the name, Tron-Bon. A lot of people.
It's about a sassy short woman who does gadgetry
She's not short. She's tall. She's lanky. She's
compared to all
taller
the
than Mega Man.
characters around them.
She's taller than Mega Man.
She's got her like big brothers, right?
Her Teasel's tall. Teasel's tall. Oh yeah. Between Teasel and Bon, she's short.
Yeah,
but she's taller than Mega Man.
My point was this is very on brand for Tony.
Yeah, well, yeah. The Serve bots are extremely big Tony energy.
Yeah.
She has an army of robot slaves called the Serve bots. She made all of them, don't you know?
Yeah.
And they're just adorable. They look like the minifigs. They look like Lego minifigs.
They're like if the silly sort of dumb droids from Star Wars, the sort of dumb battle droids, if they were all Lego men and also the minions.
Yes. So I had a theory about this. I genuinely think they got the idea for the minions from Tron-Bon. I genuinely think the idea of the
they're pretty close in
they're
design.
basically the same thing, that minions are actually like flesh. Like the server bots, I think they're called the Kobun in Japanese, but yeah, they are basically minions but robots. They're little derpy robots. They're adorable. In the Misadventure of Tron-Bon, you're playing and it's like a third person game with tank controls. It's so retro, PS1 game.
Servbot.
And
it's pretty close.
It's you can like hit one of the shoulder buttons and you put your robot's head down, and it's like a cannon, and you shoot the cannon, and whenever it hits, your serve bots rush out and they gotta say go, and they just do whatever thing they're supposed to do on that thing. So if you like hit an enemy, they'll like grab it by the legs and you start punching it. They don't do any damage. They're just bothering it because they suck.
They have big squeaky hammers.
It's so good. And then some of them have slingshots. Yeah, because so like they'll throw bombs to attack when they're like actually attacking shit. But some of them you can train and like train them up, and they're like fucking sick nasty. And they have like slingshots with little bombs. It's so good. Yeah, no, Mr. Victor Tron Bond, fucking excellent.
The future gets so crazy that people genuinely become like cartoons.
Yeah, it's like you can like just take. So one of the things about,
exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah,
earlier.
yeah. So yeah, I keep getting sidetracked, but Bon Bon. So there's Tron Bon, right, girl. Teasel Bon, guy, but he has like robot arms and legs. He has like a whole like robot body, but he has a guy head. And then Bon Bon is just like a mech. He's just like a robot head and giant lanky body. I love his design. And he has like a binky, and all he ever says is "babu, babu,"
because
babu.
he's a baby.
Because he's a baby, but they understand what he's saying because it's anime. But I always remember being a kid and being like, "Wait, how is the robot their brother? Like, did they adopt him?
Yeah.
Like, what is the story behind Bon Bon? I'm so invested. I need to know." Come to find out, no, that's just literally their brother. He replaced all of his body parts because you can just do that as a carbon. Carbons like are. You can just, like, plug off your arm and put a drill there, and you're fine.
Yeah.
Like, it's just how
like
they
you're an
function.
action figure.
Yeah, they're action figure people. They're not true humans. They're basically what the
They're
robot
ethnically bionicles.
the robot that Megaman was. It was the precursor to eventually everyone being able to plug and chug their body parts. Yeah. Like, it's fucking bionicles. Yeah. That's an excellent analogy, actually. No, Mega Man excellent, man. Good times. I need to play the ZX collection. I never, because I only know about the stuff I know about ZX from the Ben Saint video. I need to actually experience it.
You played one of them.
I was playing the first one, and it's the hardest one.
Yeah.
And I think I got to say Charpuya the first. No, I got to the second of the Guardian fights.
Yeah.
And I just didn't feel like running the pattern, and I never picked it back up.
Yeah.
Because they're so hard. They made that one it's the Dark Souls of Mega Man.
Yeah.
It's the Dark Souls of Mega Man. They were like, hey, kids, we need to make sure that you get your money's worth for this game, so we're going to make it nigh impossible to beat, so you have to really beat your head against it.
Yeah, you got to play this again and again and again and again and really learn those fights. That way, your mom doesn't want her money back after you beat the game really fast. No, this is going to take you a while. And maybe you'll need a new Game Boy from throwing that shit against the wall.
Yeah, dude, it was bad. Yeah, man.
Like, I played it as a little lad, and it caused many a crash out.
Fucking difficult. And then I guess the next ones are not nearly as brutal.
Yeah. The DS ones are baby mode.
Yeah, okay.
Even this guy was able to...
ZX, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, the ZX ones were fucking cheese. Yeah. Like, I remember... I quite enjoyed ZX. It was longer... It had its roots more tied into the original Mega Man games, but it still had the Metroidvania shit they were going for. Yeah, I really enjoyed... The levels were a little more robust and involved.
Yeah.
And then you could, like, pick which character you were. Oh, you could be a boy or a girl instead of just being... Because you got a power-up to become a Mega Man.
Yeah.
They fully Saturday morning cartoonified the fucking...
So what happened was... in the universe... between like the Mega Man X series and the Mega Man ZX series, there's Mega Man Zero, but over all of this time, all of the main characters that we've come to know and love, like the 4 Guardian characters and Mega Man X and of course Zero, their mythology now. They're genuinely people talk about them the way that they talk about like Zeus or like George Washington, where they don't. That's not even a real person to you anymore. That's a concept. So obviously, the same thing that we do whenever we figure out like a thing that we sort of deify. What if we made our thing themed on that thing? So instead of Mega Man looking like Mega Man because Mega Man looks like however Mega Man looks, it's how Mega Man looks. Now Mega Man looks like Mega Man because Mega Man used to look like Mega Man, and now Mega Mans look like that Mega Man.
God, that was so... The words you just said were so confusing.
Listen back to it. It tracks.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Fuck. No, it was... It's good times. Good times being 10-year-old Tony and playing Mega Man.
Yeah.
I used to go over to Kevin's house all the time and then bust out the PS1 with Mega Man, and we'd just sit and watch you play Zero. And
yeah.
And yeah, it was very, very formative part of my childhood is playing, kicking up walls with Mega Man X.
And now he can basically, from muscle memory, replay a couple of the Mega Man X games.
There was a time where I could beat Mega Man X 100% in less than an hour.
Yeah, that's the one.
If I have to recut my teeth, but there was a time where I could.
One of our friends, just like he plays like a lot of retro games, and like he just brought like a little CRT TV and PlayStation 1 and it was Mega Man X, and just Tony took to it like a damn fish to water.
Yeah. Specifically the first one I can beat in under an hour. The second one I don't know that well, and the third one I think I'm biased. I think Mega Man X3 is the best Mega Man X game, but that's also because I've mythologized it, because I've only ever, as a kid, I only ever played it after renting it from one of the video game rental stores, and then like that was around the time they were selling off all the SNES stuff because the PlayStation came out, and so I could never find a copy of that game ever again. And so I only ever played it like once or twice until the collection came out.
Right.
And then I had unmitigated access to it. And the way I see it, X2 was like a true sequel in that it was the things you got in the first game plus a little bit extra.
Right.
X3 was a better sequel in that you got so much extra stuff, and it really advanced and like expanded the game as far as like all the power-ups and upgrades, and like you could get the ride armors. There were like mech suits, and there was like 4 of them, and each of them could be used to do something else in the levels. So there was like more layers to each level by these unlocks you got, and none of the games had done that before, really. Not the same. I mean, there was like the rush armors and stuff, but point being, X4 was like a downgrade. Like they upgraded the sprites. It was prettier. It went from 32-bit to like whatever fucking, I don't know the actual specifics here, but the bits got prettier, bigger, but the performance of like how you control your character was clunkier, and then there wasn't as much in like the levels and stuff. There wasn't as much like stuff to do or like side missions and stuff.
So
yeah,
this is a thing I think is just an interesting thing to know about with like the philosophy of making video games. Is like when you're making a game, there's like 3 like ways that people like think of them, and it's you can make it a theme park, you can make it a sandbox, or you can make it a puzzle box. Where like a theme park is like the original run of Mega Man games would be theme park games.
Yeah,
you go through the level, and playing the level is getting through the level. There's no going back for a secret thing. There's just you take things as they come. A lot of modern games are like that, where the theme parks you don't there's no need to like go back. Then there's sandbox like Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah,
Grand Theft Auto is like, or Minecraft is the ultimate sandbox game.
Yeah.
Where there's the direction is essentially meaningless. Playing the game is what's fun.
Yeah.
And then there's puzzle box game, which is the hard one essentially. Which is, okay, you can play the game, but also there's like another level to it where if you just turn the puzzle box over, oh, that's a different puzzle.
Yeah.
So like Metroidvania games are puzzle boxes.
Yes.
You could just play them straightforward all the way through with what? Maybe 3 or 4 hearts and none of the upgrades to any of your weapons?
Yeah, I always had like a compulsion to get all the stuff. Like if I didn't get
most
all
RPGs
the stuff,
are puzzle boxes.
Yeah. Or like it's usually in RPGs I don't care about this, but in Mega Man specifically, I always wanted to get all the stuff. It was always like if I didn't get every heart, every like energy tank, every upgrade, then I am a cuck and I deserve to be shot. Like that.
Jesus.
Like how yeah, you don't fuck around in Mega Man, you get all the stuff. So yeah, X3 had like the most stuff to get, and it was the most. It just felt good, and then X4. The big thing about X4 is that you could pick to be X or 0, and then you played as that character all the way through. And then you could argue X5 is an upgrade because you get to play as both. You pick which one you start out with, and it changes fundamental parts of the story or how the gameplay goes. But then, like in the mission select screen, you pick which character you want to play as. Yeah. And with X5, that just became the standard. So, like, that's fine. That's all well and good. But X3, I think, has just the most stuff, is the fullest game, most interesting levels, most interesting power-ups, most meaningful decisions. And then the rest of the games are basically downgrades from that point onward. It might be a controversial take, but that's my stance. as someone who played them religiously growing up.
Yeah.
Specifically X1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. I played the fuck out of those games.
Mega Man X4 is the one that I think I remember the most.
That's the one I probably played the most.
Yeah.
Because that was the first PS1 one.
Yeah.
And like it had the fucking anime, the horribly voice acted anime lines.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my, so they have anime cutscenes.
That one
sick.
blew me away.
The anime cutscenes are sick, but I don't know, because in Mega Man 8 this happened too. I don't know what happened with Capcom America and their casting of voice actors, but they got like a drunk guy to fucking voice light or some shit.
They got a homeless guy to do
Yeah,
it.
they just like pull the guy out. He has like a stutter. It's not good.
He sounds like, what I mean by that is he sounds like he's, one, not an actor, and two, has no stake in this.
Yeah, it's...
You gotta collect all the energy, Mega Man.
He like stutters. He's like, you gotta collect all the energy, Megaman.
Yeah.
Like, it's bad. It's bad.
Did you only have the one take?
Yeah, exactly. It feels like they only had the one, like, they like pocketed all the money they were supposed to use and got their uncle or some shit, and like, it's good enough. Kids don't fucking care.
I mean, the alternative is...
Well, what year did it come out?
Early 2000s. Like probably 2000 on the dot.
So yeah, that's probably literally the reason.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think they just pocketed the money and just let their uncle do it.
Because in America, only children are going to play this.
Yeah.
Like,
Who cares?
Yeah, what do they care?
Yeah, like...
And we didn't. We didn't care.
No.
In fact, we were actually pretty into it.
I didn't know any better. I didn't know
Yeah.
quality. I didn't know what quality
That was Dr. Light's voice, I'll have you know.
Yeah.
How dare you?
How you disperse the doctor? Yeah, but they had sick nasty anime cutscenes, like Zero fights Colonel, and his love interest Iris, who is introduced in that game.
Yeah.
But we're supposed to act like we've already known. Oh, we've been shipping them for a while now.
Yeah, they treat it with the exact same gravity as if this is a character you've come to know and love over the Mega Man X games.
Also, pretty fucked up. Was drawn to my attention. Iris is kind of like a robo supremacist. Like
She's a racist?
because her last line, as she's spoiler, Zero kills her brother, and then the next boss fight is she like fuses with his core to become like the next boss. And Zero has to kill his lover, and as she's like on the floor dying, and he's cradling her in her arms, she's like, "I dreamed of a world of only Reploids." And Zero says, "You know that's just a dream." She's like, "I know, but I wanted to believe." So she just wanted to kill all humans. That's what you said without saying it, lady.
Bender would have loved her.
Yeah, baby, do Huckleberry proud.
Yeah.
Humans, fuck them. Just the cute anime girl in her beret is just like, I actually hate all humans. I don't know why that's so funny to me.
I'm the most fully developed female character in this game.
Fuck.
I hate all humans.
God, what do they mean by
and
this?
the rest of my personality is I'm Zero's girlfriend.
Those are true personality traits. I'm Zero's girlfriend.
And a racist.
I'm a racist! What did the Japanese mean by this?
What did they mean by that? Maybe they meant it's fine that she died then.
Yeah,
She was a delusional racist.
Yeah, they gotta go. Zero, you can do
Zero
better.
stands up and like wipes a tear away, and X is just like, "It's okay. She was a Nazi, man." And he's like, "Yeah, like." God damn.
It's fucking killing me.
Is that how he found out she was racist too?
Fuck. That's like the only time it ever comes up.
That's way better.
Yeah.
Imagine, like, you're fighting your girl. Let's say she's turned into a werewolf, and then you shoot her with a silver bullet, and as she's bleeding out, you expect her to be like, "I love you," and "I wasn't in control of myself," and all this, and she's like, "Brown people, I was supposed to eat them as a wolf, so there'd be less of them," and you're like, ugh.
That's basically what happened. Because it doesn't come up, nor is it plot relevant.
Yeah, that's...
So it's basically her final words where I was actually a racist. It's fucking killing me now. What did Inafune mean by this? Oh, man. Oh, good times in Mega Man X4.
it can't be... I mean, she isn't framed as heroic.
No.
What did you mean by that?
Yeah, what did you mean by this? Like, I get it, your brother is on the Reploids, and the Reploids are like, oh, we're Reploids that are soldier boys, and we're gonna keep people safe, and then they get accused of terrorism, and this is one of the things Ben highlights, and I also agree, is like, we were talking previously, before the podcast started, about something, and I wanted to bring this up. They're one of the only arguments you hear in favor of the Reploids. So I guess you could start from the start here.
Yeah.
Megaman X4 starts with a floating city called the Sky Lagoon. It's crashing. Someone did a terrorism on it, and it's falling, and it falls, and it's bad. And so, basically, the Reploids, this army of Reploids that are like, oh, we're going to protect humanity, and yada yada, they are accused, like, hey, we saw Reploids agents on the Sky Lagoon before it fell. The Maverick Hunters want to investigate you to see if there's any foul play. And because, basically, the robot cop said, hey, we think you might be implicated on this, they just go full, like, oh, our honor is besmirched, you must die! And they just choose to fight humanity instead of be investigated by the robot cops. And one of the only arguments you hear in favor of this decision is, oh, but their honor. Oh, their honor was besmirched. No, fuck you, dude! What do you mean? Like, hey, we think you might be implicated in this terrorism. Do you have anything to say about that? Die. Okay. Well,
who did the terrorism?
The Maverick Hunters, technically. It was Megaman Dragoon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was Megaman Dragoon. So, like, they were innocent. But, like, you could also argue, because Double is...
I mean, they weren't guilty of that, but they were clearly, like, a group that wasn't set up to be a lasting good in the world.
Exactly, and there were Mavericks in the Reploids. So basically, the Hunters could have probably discovered the fucking conspiracy that... Anyway, point being, choosing, like, fuck you, space cops, we're gonna go out swinging, like...
Yeah.
Just, no, fuck you. It's so unreasonable.
You think that we're terrorists? Well, we'll see what our friends at the IRA have to say about that, and then just start throwing like Molotovs at the cops.
This is basically that's what Megaman X4 is about. That is what the whole thing is about. Most of the bosses of that are not like full tilt Mavericks. They're just like, yeah, I'm a Rebel Force guy, and the boss says we gotta fight, so we're fighting. No, I think only 2 of them aren't Mavericks. Now that I think about it, I think it's the Owl and maybe Jet Stingray. There are like 2 that aren't Mavericks. The rest did become Maverick, because Megaman Dragoon specifically is a Maverick, and he was a Maverick Hunter, one of Zero's buddies, as Kevin brought up, and he became Maverick. Maverick being a robot that is going against the will of humans.
Yeah.
And one of the...
It became a very like loaded political term.
And that's what I was going to say earlier in the conversation, was that one of the things that like Mega Man went to being a little more deep, I mean, as far as a fucking game about robots can be,
right,
is like the political construct that is Maverick. Or not, the social construct, rather, that is Maverick. What does it mean to be a Maverick? What does that entail?
Yeah.
And it goes from being like, oh, you are malfunctioning and are a threat to humans, and it ends up warping and evolving to, you did something we don't like, so you're labeled as basically... It's basically like saying you're a terrorist, we get to execute you.
Yeah.
Like, even if you didn't really like do anything...
It used to mean a really specific thing of like, he's been infected by the virus.
The virus, you're no longer thinking rationally, you're a threat to yourself and others.
Yeah.
That's what a Maverick meant. And then it went to be like, oh, you didn't follow the status quo, clearly you're a Maverick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is like, you know, there's some parallels to make that in the real world, but no, interesting shit, man.
A key piece of evidence that old Tom, rather than being an incel, is just a guy who just never found love, is that, like, following making Mega Man, the next game wasn't God King Light.
Yeah.
He invented the most... a robot so powerful that it teleports to other planets and dethrones their Emperor robots. That's Mega Man 3, I think?
No, I want to say it's somewhere between 4 and 6.
Somewhere in there.
Or one of the games between, but he starts fighting the Star Droids. Yeah.
And, like...
Because in Mega Man 3, he does go to space, and he starts beating up guys in space.
Yeah, and then there's one of the side games, which is for, like, the Game Boy, is he gets invited to, like, a Dragon Ball Z-style tournament of fighting robots who are so powerful that they do shit like that. And for some reason, a lot of them are like, "Oh, this one looks like King Tut."
Yeah, God.
But he's from space. He's from a whole other society. They had Egyptians too.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
One of my favorite things Capcom did was a few of the games. All the Robot Masters were fan designs. They let people submit their designs, and if they were good, they'd make them a Robot Master. And anytime a company does that, I always really. Some people argue it's just stealing fucking.
In terms of buying me goodwill, acknowledging like the fans' love in that way is like, I like that.
Yeah, like submit your designs and I'll put them in the IP. But you can only yeah. There's a way to make it not ripping people off, and there's a way to make it endearing, and I think they did it endearingly.
Yeah,
especially because it was before. I don't know, but yeah, no, that I think specifically most of the Mega Man 8 Robot Masters were all fan designs. I'm pretty sure, like Clown Man.
Tenga Man went hard.
Tenga Man went fucking
Whoever
hard.
designed Tenga Man did a good job.
Park. Yeah, he knocked it out of the park.
I'll bring him up for you, Mr. No Playing Mega Man.
Doesn't know his Robot Masters. There was a time in history where I could list off all the Robot Masters in order. That time is no longer upon us. Brain rot has gotten rid of that skill, but
taken us.
I used to know all of them because they're all labeled because they're Dr. Wily numbers, don't you know?
Yeah.
So
this is Tenga Man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tenga Man's the goat. Tenga Man's the goat. Yeah. And with that, we're going to end tonight's episode. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed the nature of this content, go ahead and give us a like and subscribe on YouTube. You can also follow me on Blue Sky, and you can support us on Patreon. And with that, have an excellent evening.
Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.